Here is that the bodies of South Africa's fallen soldiers will be repatriated this week, but communications from the SANDF now indicate that the remains of their fallen are expected to return to the country by Thursday, following what it terms necessary procedures. Our reporting indicates this timeline remains fluid. The bodies were transported by road from Goma into Rwanda and again across the border into Uganda, where they are being processed for final repatriation. UN provided a humanitarian update from the region.
Security and humanitarian situation in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo remain extremely volatile, with escalating armed clashes, mass displacement, and increasing insecurity in both North Kivu and South Kivu. The activities of armed groups, in particular the M23, along with the regional dynamics, continue to fuel instability, exacerbating civilian suffering and humanitarian challenges. But there are more than the M23 in the DRC, and for example, this morning we learned that at least 52 civilians were killed, reportedly killed in Ituri by the armed group called the Codeco. Since the beginning of January, we have witnessed an unprecedented advance by the M23, supported by the Rwanda Defence Forces in North Kivu and South Kivu.
The fighting has resulted in the deaths of at least 2,900 people, with many more injured, while M23 advances towards Bukavu and South Kivu continue after overrunning Goma on January 27th.
The M23 may use alternative routes to progress towards the town of Bukavu in the coming days, with again massive consequences on the civilian population. In Goma, where the M23 is now in control, largely in control, the situation remains tense and far from normal due to the ongoing M23 occupation. The security situation has nonetheless improved in some areas, but security concerns persist. We have also seen over the past few days a recourse to mob justice in a context of proliferation of light weapon and ammunition, and the looting of courthouses. This situation adds to the challenges of reinstating the rule of law in a zone with a tragic legacy of gross human rights violation and impunity.
This development comes as the UN Security Council negotiates a draft resolution that, in its current form, strongly condemns the ongoing offensive and advances by the M23 rebel group in both North and South Kivu, with support of the Rwanda Defence Force, and demands an immediate cessation of hostilities in eastern DRC. The draft text, seen by SABC News, demands the immediate withdrawal of the M23 from Goma and the full reversal of illegitimate parallel administrations in the DRC territory, while reiterating its urgent call for all parties to conclude a ceasefire agreement. The language of the draft could change during ongoing council negotiations, but currently calls on the Rwanda Defence Force to cease support to the M23 and withdraw from the DRC territory without preconditions and without delay. It expresses its intention to consider additional targeted sanctions, including against the leadership of the M23 and those providing external support to the group, including those violating the existing sanctions regime and arms embargo. The draft strongly condemned attacks against the civilian population and infrastructure, including the United Nations and associated personnel. It further urges the DRC and Rwanda to return to diplomatic talks as a matter of urgency under the Luanda and Nairobi processes. It's unclear when negotiations will conclude and the draft put to a vote in the Council. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.